I hope to soon get into natural law with you because it is not something that the average person is familiar with, but natural law pertains to God, the creator of all, not some subset, not some part of. God is natural law. What I mean by that is the natural order of things is created by the Creator, God. Some people want to put him in a box and just call him a man, God the Father. But he's also more than that. We use the word he, and some people use the word she. Both are limited. God is all in all. The leaf on a tree was created by God. The tree trunk was created by God. The roots, created by God. Going into the ground, created by God, with the minerals created by God to reproduce. God. Earth, created by God. The air, don't ask me how it's created, by God. The firmament, water. How does water hover? I don't know. I'm sure there's some scientists that can explain it. Created by God. How stars shine? God. To go from atmosphere to no atmosphere, where more things are created than in atmosphere. God. So to worship gods, small g, is ridiculous. By the way, this is not for the scholars out there. This is for my kids, my grandkids, my brothers and sisters in Kenya, my brothers and sisters in Ghana, my brother in Bangladesh, and whomever else this helps. God bless you. We're on a journey from Genesis to Revelation. I don't know how long it's going to take. But please, if these videos are helpful to you, like and share them with other people, because if they help you, they'll help other people. We get so excited about how things are created. Sometimes we worship the creation, not trying to. Now, worship means we live for, which means we're willing to do whatever it takes to have these things, even breaking natural law, a natural law. Owe no man nothing but to love them. Natural law. There are a lot of natural laws. The natural laws of God is the study so that a renewed mind can run more closely to the natural laws than the laws of man, which has, the laws of man, has many gods. The challenge with becoming successful is not to slip into the gods of man. It sounds easy. It is not easy. It is very easy to slip into the gods of man. Because in most cases, you'll justify it not trying to. Like being in love with a particular car, so you're willing to go in debt and pay $1,500 a month for it. And your justification is, hey, I make $15,000 a month. I can afford $1,500 a month. So you pay an offering every single month. Hey, I've done it too. Not 1,500, but hey, I'm. It's hard not to, because when someone is willing to give you access for an offering, owe no man nothing but to love them. Even if you have the ability to access, sometimes, most times, we should probably not access. It gives us the appearance that we have more than we have. Now, this is not for those who get the $1,500 a month payment as a strategy because they have the money to pay for the car, but their money is making money. That's why it's tricky. Or there are 0% loans out there and your money is earning 6% in the bank. But most of us aren't thinking like that. You get 0% interest, taking that loan, and you have the money in the bank to cover the debt. That's a different interest. We're talking about choosing God over small g gods. Also, the challenge is when you say the word gods, most people don't understand what that means. So, in understanding what gods are, maybe that would be helpful. So, gods can be people. Gods could be things. People, things. When I say things, I mean they can be works. So, for my kids, my grandkids, what we don't want to worship are works. And what we don't want to worship are people. We admire people. We love people. We like people. We honor people for whom God has made them, but we don't worship people. We don't worship works. Deuteronomy chapter 13. I'm going to start at verse 4, but we're going to go further into 13. I think we're going to finish off 13 in this particular video. We'll be going to Deuteronomy 14 next. Deuteronomy 13, verse 4. Ye shall walk after the Lord your God and fear him. This word God, Elohim, is the same word for God, small g. Same word. But you're going to walk after God and fear him and keep his commandments. This is how you know someone is walking after God. Fear him, keep his commandments, and obey his voice. Fear him, keep his commandments, and obey his voice. And you shall serve him and cleave unto him. And that prophet or that dreamer of dreams shall be put to death. Now, this, again, you have to go back and listen to the previous video. And hopefully my guy will put the previous video above my head or something. If you want to research, if you haven't listened to the previous video. But it's important that you understand that you're not to follow a prophet or a dreamer of dreams. What that means is a prophet can confirm something, but a prophet can't tell you something. Give you instruction. They can confirm what God has already given you in your heart. But they can't tell you what to do. Because then you make that prophet a small g God. That's why it says in verse 4, walk after the Lord your God and fear him. Don't fear the prophet, small g. Fear him. Keep his commandments, which he places on the inside of your heart. These are the natural laws. If a prophet tells you to hold your breath until you pass out, that is not a natural law. If a prophet tells you not to drink for 90 days, not to drink water, that is not a natural law. Now, there are fasts. The ones that I'm aware of are in length no more than about 40 days. But no one's going to tell you to live the rest of your life, or God will not tell you to live the rest of your life not drinking water. Or not eating, which represents earth, as explained in Genesis. In particular when he was talking to the serpent. Earth represents food, breath, air, water, spirit, life. Verse 5, and that prophet or that dreamer of dreams shall be put to death because he had spoken to turn away from the Lord your God. Particularly you, or the people that they're talking to. If I ask you to do something that doesn't make sense, then you need to pray for me. Because I don't have the ability to give you or anyone else a command. It's uncomfortable for a lot of people that I take the position of not taking the position. Some people think I'm weak because I don't do that unless given authority. And then I have this rule. I don't like fake authority. So if you give me authority, then my word needs to stand. But if my word's not going to stand, then don't bother giving me the authority. We're talking about serving God and living according to his commandments. My authority, to the best of my ability, is going to glorify the one who has created the natural laws. I'm not interested in creating my own. Because you turn people away from the power of his statutes, judgments, ordinances, his commandments. It gives you a bad testimony. to follow small g gods. They're looking to turn you away, the prophets and the dreamer of dreams. Let me continue in verse 5. From the Lord your God, which brought you out of the land of Egypt. And for you, he didn't bring you out of Egypt, most of you, but he brought you out of bondage. Egypt in this case is representing slavery, bondage, living a life without power because the power was vested in the Pharaoh, who was unfamiliar with your history. And so were you. And redeemed you out, still in verse 5, and redeemed you out of the house of bondage to thrust thee out of the way which the Lord thy God commanded thee to walk in. So you follow me, right? Pharaoh, small g, using you for his benefit to build his kingdom. God brought you out of that bondage of serving small g. So this fits for everyone. So you have to look at Egypt as a type and shadow. It's a type of deliverance. When you get to a place where you understand who you are in God and you understand the natural laws. If you don't understand the natural laws or even aren't aware of them, then you tend to make other rulers, judges, things a God. But when you understand the natural laws of God, you will stand out. People will not like you, or maybe be intimidated by you, or whatever their reasoning is. But the point is to begin to walk with those who are familiar and are interested in living by the laws of God. Let me jump forward. Verse 6, if thy brother, thy son of thy mother, or thy son, or thy daughter, or the wife of thy bosom, or thy friend, which as thy own soul entice thee secretly, saying, let us go and serve other gods, which thou hast not known, thou nor thy fathers, of the gods, verse 7, of the gods of the people, which round about you, nigh unto thee, or far off from thee, from the end of the earth even unto the end of the earth. So one side of the earth to the other side of the earth, although the earth is round. Verse 8, thou shalt not consent unto him, nor hearken unto him, neither shall thy eye pity him, neither shalt thou spare, neither shalt thou conceal him. My whole purpose of going over this, even though I went over this in the previous video, I didn't do it from this standpoint, is to get you familiar, speak the words into your life, to get you familiar with the idea that there is separation from God, of the natural laws of life that are rooted in the four elements of living. Elements of living: water, fire, earth, air. That these elements, and God our Father wants us to master these elements. When we lack education and direction, we tend to put someone up, we tend to put other people, judges, rulers, works. So, If a person comes to you, say on TV or YouTube or Facebook or any other medium, and they're standing in front of a Rolls Royce, and they're in front of a big house, or they have a line of cars, and they get on a private plane, we tend as human beings to say they have the answers. These are small gods. And they say, you could get what I got too. You only need to do what I tell you to do. Then they have you buy their things. Which helps them to get the things to show you. I'm not saying everyone's like this, but what I am saying is, if you understand the natural laws, then although you appreciate the talent of others, you don't tend to put them on a pedestal. I don't know if you know this, but there are a lot of people who tell you can be successful, and they become successful telling you you can be successful. God says you can be successful because I made you to be successful. You just have to understand and have the wisdom of operating in the natural laws. CashApp $MrPaulDozier. CashApp $MrPaulDozier. If you want to give. We are on a journey from Genesis to Revelation. This is my personal Bible study. I do not know how long it's going to take, but we're taking it. We're coming to the end of Deuteronomy, which will be the end of my study in the Torah, which I'm excited about. And let me say this. Get the Torah down, and I believe everything else becomes easier to understand. Not easy, but easier to understand, because everything else is going to bounce off of the Torah. In the New Testament, when listening to the prophets, you can also support me on Amazon Books. I have 4 books, but 2 that I'm highlighting here: Ghetto Education and The Christ Culture. And I want to say thank you for those who have helped the videos become more successful than they were a year ago, including my brother in Bangladesh, who handles all of these things and puts in the keywords and all this other stuff. He put in the keyword PTSD, which I guess that makes sense. It really does. Because a lot of us are suffering from things, because this life is challenging unless you understand the roadmap and how God has made us to succeed. And by the way, thank you for taking the journey with me personally, and thank you for taking the journey with us, those who are interested in the kingdom of God.